What is going on, everyone? Before we get into today's video, I want to give a big shout out to A1 Comics for A1 Wednesday. Don't forget to follow them on Instagram. Their link is in the description below. They have live sales every Wednesday and Friday on the IG. Don't forget to check them out on Twitch every Thursday as well. And of course, they are on the Whatnot app. What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journos Comics and Pop Culture here today with the video that I think absolutely needs to be addressed. And yes, I actually am pretty shocked by what I'm going to discuss today. It's something that I do believe shouldn't be happening. I'm not just stating that. It's clickbait, folks. Before we get into the video, please, folks, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, take some time to do so. But we're just going to get right into this. I have some examples today that we're going to look at from some sales that have been happening on the Whatnot app. Now, I need to preface this. I have recently started selling comics and I use the Whatnot app, and I absolutely love the Whatnot app for selling and buying comics. I think it's an amazing platform and I think it's revolutionizing the game. Okay, these are good things. I'm not attacking any sellers or the app or anybody in this video. I have to make that clear. For those that watch my channel, you also probably know that I'm not a finger pointer. I'm not somebody that puts parts of this hobby in this industry and points fingers at it and says that this is bad for the hobby. This is ruining the hobby. I am all about finding the truth in the middle. There's middle ground to everything. I think overall, this hobby is in a very good place. I'm a little bit of everything as a collector, a speculator, an investor, etc. But there are things that pop up that are red flags to me, to which we as collectors can absolutely learn from. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, folks. So let's just go right into the first example, and I'm going to explain what is happening here. Okay, so what do we have on screen? To your right, you have a screenshot of a Whatnot auction. Clocking down, you can see there where it says 0008. That's 8 seconds left. Where it says 46 plus tax ship, that is the current bid. For those that don't know much about Whatnot, there you go. This is an auction for a Fantastic Four number 258. Now, this isn't even really a key book. It's a cool Doom cover. What you have here to the left in these two other images are screenshots of eBay listings. Not sold listings, but listings that were just active on eBay. What I did was as soon as these Whatnot listings sold, I went straight to eBay and took screenshots of the same book on eBay. Now, I want you all to pay attention to the price. I am going to tell you all this too. I was very, very meticulous about checking all the pictures on the eBay listings because I know you can't just trust what an eBay seller says the grade is. Most of the books that I have as examples on eBay had multiple pictures. I thoroughly looked through them. I was watching these Whatnot auctions live and I saw the books. Most of what you're going to see today were around the very fine to very fine / near mint range. None of them were 9.8 potentials in my humble opinion whatsoever. Trust me on that. You had this book clocking down with 8 seconds left, selling for $46. Roughly a very fine / near mint, which is around a 9.0. While that was happening, you had listings of the same book, two that said near mint plus. And folks, like I said, I looked into the listings. I looked at all the pictures. Selling for $23 and $24.99 or best offer. Now, like I said, I'm not even looking at what books have sold for on eBay. I'm not even looking at eBay sold. That means that these books might not even sell for this much. They could be sitting there and these sellers could be asking this price, but it doesn't mean anybody's going to buy it. You can even see this one, $31.49. And they're stating these books are 9.6, 9.8 candidates. You could have got this same book in a higher grade for about half the price at the exact same time that you were bidding on this book on Whatnot. Do you all see what's going on here now? Do you see what's happening and why I'm just completely shocked? Well, maybe I'm not completely shocked. As we get down to more examples too, folks, stick around because the ones lower down are going to blow your mind even more. Let's move on to this one. We have an Amazing Spider-Man number 190. Just an awesome man-wolf appearance. 3 seconds left on this Whatnot auction with a $73 bid. Again, this book was roughly around the very fine to very fine near mint range, 8.5, 9.0. A lot of these books had the parallel spine stress, not necessarily spine ticks, but spine stress, as if they were either read or they were, sitting in that weight of sitting on a bunch of books for a long time. Those were there. There was also a few, finger crinkles here and there, some ruffling of the edges here and there. They were beautiful copies. Don't get me wrong. Some of them did have spine ticks, a little blunting on the corner here and there. Like I said, they were not 9.8 or close to 9.8 candidates. I have 2 examples here of the same book. This one person said near mint minus, and again, I looked at all the pictures. I say that's a very solid grade. And again, I'm very conservative with my grading, and I'm very educated to the grading process. You have a book over here, $39.99. And again, not only are these books almost half of what they're bidding for on Whatnot, but these are best offers. They're not even selling at this price. They are not even selling at this price. You could offer them lower than what they're already asking. So again, while somebody was paying $73+ for this book on Whatnot, you could have got it for 35, 39, or even less in a higher grade on eBay. Let's move on. This one is really, like I said, these are going to continue to blow your mind even more, folks. And again, folks, stick around to the end because I'm gonna break some things down after I give you all my examples. I'm gonna kind of give you my, my thoughts and my final thoughts on this and what I think this actually means to the hobby and for sellers and buyers and so forth. But let's look at this Uncanny X-Men 244. First appearance of Jubilee. Really awesome book and a key that I think is worth going after right now. 2 seconds left on this Whatnot bid. $174. $174. $39.99 for a very fine near mint copy or best offer. And I'm telling you, those 2 books there were extremely, extremely comparable. Those 2 books. And again, remember, I was watching these auctions live and then going over and looking at all the pictures on these eBay listings. Those books looked practically identical. That is what? Over 4 times the price. Now look at this other picture. A CGC 9.0. Again, looked extremely similar to this raw book that's sold on Whatnot. Already graded CGC 9.0. $75, $74.99, or best offer. Wow. Let's move on. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man number 257. Ned Leeds is Hobgoblin in this book, another awesome Spidey book. $77. All the way to the left, you got a $45 one, but look at this one in the middle. This one does say very fine, and again, still very, very competitive. You can actually see on the image of the 257 from the Whatnot sale, you can actually see from the light glare how that book, you could see the spine stress right there, and down into the barcode, you can see a couple spine ticks as well. A few of these books also had some, a little bit of a creasing on the back cover that you can't see in the pictures. $30, and that's a newsstand. Now, I know it's a mid-80s newsstand, but still, you guys know about the hype around newsstands, and this is fairly high grade, so, it's arguable that the newsstand might go for more. $30, but you absolutely have a $45 near mint looking copy, an immaculate looking copy on eBay. And again, I looked at all the pictures, and look, you can see all the dots. You can see all the pictures that were listed. That book could have possibly been a 9.8 candidate. $45. Here's another one, $19. And this one had, you can't see it in the picture, this one had blended edges, and it had a crease on the back. It had a crease on the back cover. and it sold for $19. $2.80. And yes, folks, again, I looked at the picture. It was comparable. It was comparable. But you have one for $6.99 as well. Still, it's, much cheaper, almost a third of the whatnot cost, right? This one blows my mind. And again, this newsstand, let's look at this newsstand. First, let's look at the whatnot sale, folks. $96 with 2 cents left. I think this was another one that had a bit of a crease. Still, even with that small little crease, I put the book at a very fine near mint. It was a nice copy. These ones are absolutely comparative with that one. $15 and $17. And look at this. This is a early 90s newsstand. This is when it matters. And this book was a near mint looking book. The $17 one. Again, a bunch of pictures. Look at all those dots. There was a bunch of pictures to go through. This book was immaculate, and it is a newsstand, and it was a buy it now for $17, and somebody paid $96 on Whatnot for a direct copy that was in most likely a lower grade or comparative grade. Wow. Absolute wow. Now look at this one. Here's another one. Amazing Spider-Man, $195, second appearance of the Black Cat. $205 with 2 seconds left. This is the one that was probably, I think, outside of the one, I think it was the X-Men one that had like the kind of the crease on the back. I think this one had a crease that you can't see. I don't think it broke color. It could have been pressed out maybe, but again, some spine stress. You can actually see, I think, a little bit of the spine stress from the glare on this image from the Whatnot sale. $205. You have books, again, extremely comparative and possibly even better. $60 your best offer, or $80. Wow. Here's my thoughts on this. And again, I want to reiterate that these are books that you could get best offers in for, or I didn't even check the buy it now or the sold listings on eBay. There could have been similar copies that sold for way less too, but the thing I want to drill home is these eBay books were available to buy. So whoever bought these books on Whatnot at that time, they were available to buy for half, a third of the cost, a quarter of the cost with a couple of them. Here's my thoughts on this, folks. I sell on the Whatnot app. I have a sale coming up in 2 weeks. I think I might even have a couple of these books up for sale. So what am I doing here? I could ignore this, not talk about it, and allow people to come into my live sales and bid my books up to these crazy amounts while there's books on eBay sitting similar grades and much cheaper prices. And again, I'm not knocking these sellers. This is all on the bidders. These sellers go and they put their books up. Maybe they start them at $1, $2. I don't remember. I think they were like really cheap, like $1 or $2 starting bids. I do believe so. It's the buyers. It's nobody else's fault. And maybe the sellers are hyping them up and but hey, like I've said this before, that's the name of the game. As long as they're not giving you false information. Are they being transparent about the grade? I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. This is a problem because of a few things. One, if Whatnot sales ever start getting tracked on some type of census or by databases like Cover Price or Go Collect or GPA for graded books, if Whatnot prices ever start tracking, these are going to be huge outliers that are going to be floors set for how people price their books. And it's going to change the perception of sellers on what they think is a fair value to pay. When really it's not. It's a few people in 1 or 2 sales in one place that, I'm sorry to say this, and you guys can disagree with me or not, have the FOMO. There is an adrenaline rush with the fear component, with the fight or flight component. There is an addictive behavior going on in those moments where their endorphins are being pumped out at an extremely alarming rate. because they are getting high in the moment off of that clock ticking down in the fight or flight response of, I need this, I need this, I need this. It's either that or even a mix of that and people being completely uneducated and misinformed to what they're buying. So I ask all of you this. Hey, if you want to go spend this type of money in a whatnot auction when you could spend half or a quarter of the money at that same time going to buying the same book on eBay, possibly in a higher grade, if that gives, if for some reason, if that is just does something else for you, fine. But if you're doing this because you're uneducated, this is why I'm telling you folks, it's 2022. We have all of these tools at our fingertips, literally on our smartphones and on our tablets and on our computers. We have apps like Key Collector where you could go and you could find information about the books. They give fair market values, but I don't always look at I don't know how updated their fair market values are. But you can always, even when you're watching a whatnot sale, you can always go onto eBay. You can always go onto Key Collector. You can always go onto Cover Price. You could check these books. You could educate yourself to the books. You could check the prices. We need to get this under control, in my humble opinion. We really need to allow. Now, here's the thing. If these books in these high grades, very fine near mint conditions, whatever, if they weren't available at all on eBay, or maybe people were asking crazy prices on eBay, I can understand getting into a bidding war and just, getting that adrenaline pumping and getting into a bidding war and just driving a price up because you want that book. Because in that moment, there is a scarcity on the market in that moment, meaning you don't have many options in that moment. And if you want it right then, hey, that's fair. But folks, seriously, it's like going into McDonald's and one guy, you look at the menu and you get a Big Mac meal for $6.99. But the guy over at the other cash register says, hey, I can give you that same Big Mac meal for $24.99. You just got to get it from me. And for some reason, you look at the person at the register selling it at the, price that's on the menu for $6.99. And for some reason, you walk your jolly ass over to the guy saying he wants to sell it to you for $24.99. Does it make sense? You're getting the same Big Mac. I love Whatnot. I love the guys behind Whatnot and what they've done with it. I love it. I do. I love it. It brings so much to sellers and buyers. It is going to revolutionize. It already has revolutionized the game. And there are so many great sellers out there. There really are. There really are. I hope that you all consider me one of them. But seriously, folks, check yourselves. Check yourselves. This should not be happening. That's the video for today, folks. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Again, please subscribe if you guys haven't done so yet. I make content almost every single day. Be well, folks, and until next time.